Today, the G-Wagon is one of the most sought-after vehicles in America. Ostensibly an off-roader, the boxy SUV hasn't changed its overall design too much over the years, but it now comes with a starting price of $140,000. The G-Class debuted all the way back in 1979 as a military-oriented off-roader, but was also used in Europe for those who regularly needed an overlander. In 1990, the W463 was introduced, and the vehicle became more luxurious for this generation and more like something you would expect to see from Mercedes-Benz. In 2001, the G500 was officially introduced to the United States as Daimler finally realized that an off-road military vehicle with a luxurious interior is exactly what Americans want. Now, over 20 years later, with the industry moving towards electrification, Mercedes has now announced the fully electric G-Class, which will be called the EQG. Hey, I'm Creech, and this is Creech and Cars. Today, I'm going to take you through everything we know so far about the all-new Mercedes-Benz EQG. I'll go over the exterior and interior design, and then take a look at the mechanical and performance specs. Finally, I'll go over pricing and compare it to the competition to see if Mercedes is making the right move by electrifying the G-Class. Starting with the exterior design, it's refreshing to see that the EQG still looks like a G-Wagon. I've been very disappointed with Mercedes' electric car design so far, and especially these sedans like the EQS are among the ugliest EVs you can buy right now. I think with the G-Class having remained roughly the same for as long as it has now, there's no point in turning it into a big bubble just because it's electric. Taking a closer look at the front end, we can see a grille along the bumper to help with cooling down the battery pack, while the main grille for the gas version has been replaced with what essentially looks like a screen that is lighted to appear like the Mercedes grille. And then of course the large star badge is in the center like usual. The headlights are virtually unchanged with the classic circular shape, and so far the EQG has only been shown with this color combination where the body is silver and then the hood, pillars, and roof are black. I think this looks pretty good and high end, but there will surely be more color combinations come production. Given the boxy shape of the front end that provides ample room for a V8, I think there will be a decent frunk even after the components for the electric powertrain are added. Coming around to the side, there are only a few major changes to note here. First, the mirror caps appear to have some sort of light on them. It's unclear if this is just for aesthetics or if this would actually be something like a spotlight for off-roading in the dark or in heavy clouds of dust and dirt. But the wheels don't give the impression that you will be doing much off-roading, as they look pretty similar to the wheels on the S-Class Maybach, although one EQG that was spied in testing had more normal looking wheels. One last neat feature to mention on the side is the trim piece that is in line with the door handles. On the regular G-Class, this is normally a piece of black plastic that adds to the rugged appearance, but on the EQG it is lighted and has been shown giving off a white light or a blue light, so that would definitely be distinctive at night and leave no question as to what you are driving. The design wraps up in the rear with the traditional side hinge door to access the cargo area, and there is also the spare tire holder in its normal spot, although it looks a little more squared off in the renderings, but for the production version it might just be a normal circle. This is also the intended spot for storing the charging cable. The taillights are fairly similar to the normal G-Class, and really the only other main difference here is the third brake light, which is actually mounted within the roof rack. In addition to that, some renderings show an additional light on the front that is contained within the roof rack as well, that sort of mimics the third brake light. And making our way inside, it seems like Mercedes is again sticking with what has been working for the G-Class. Here are some spy shots of the interior from a testing model, and it does closely resemble the ICE G-Class. I suspect the only major change that we will really actually see is the option for the hyperscreen that is found in the EQS. This is a 56-inch screen that spans the entirety of the dash, and for the G-Wagon that would mean replacing the rugged grab handle for the passenger with a touchscreen, but still without that, it's clear the design theme here is not fixing something that isn't broken, and if buyers like the current interior, then there's no point in redoing it for the electric model. The electric powertrain will also probably give Mercedes the ability to stretch out the interior a bit so it's a little roomier, especially in terms of legroom. Obviously with the price tag, you can be sure that the materials and build quality will match, if not exceed, the current gas model. Now let's dig into some mechanical and performance specs behind the EQG And although this seems to be the biggest change, Mercedes is still sticking with the traditional design here by most likely continuing to build the G-Class with a body-on-frame construction. The EQG will weigh about 6,500 to 7,000 pounds and obviously isn't very aerodynamic. These factors will hurt range, but Mercedes is planning on implementing new battery technology with the EQG and other electric models that are supposed to increase range by about 20%. With a 108 kilowatt-hour battery, a realistic range would be closer to 300 miles, maybe a little more, so not great, but it is to be expected with this kind of vehicle. The EQG will, however, offer great power. With 4 motors, essentially one at each wheel, the power output is expected to be over 600 horsepower for the base model and way up from there for the AMG model. There should be plenty of torque as well, as the current base gas engine offers 450 pound-feet, so it's not unreasonable for the electric version to be in the neighborhood of 600 to 700 pound-feet, if not more. In addition to the power, there will be a separate transfer case for each motor to allow even more precision when off-roading. There will be a 2-speed transmission, and it's been reported that the driver will have the ability to choose between gears, again allowing for more control in off-road environments. There's also an independent front suspension, so overall it should be very competent off-road, even though the people who buy this will never take it off-road. Which brings me to the next part of the video, pricing and competition. The EQG will likely be a little more than the G550. Many people have estimated the price to be around the $150,000 mark for the base model, and the AMG version should be closer to $175,000 and maybe more than that. EQG deliveries are expected to begin in 2024, and the vehicle will be a 2025 model year. As far as competition and market segment, here the EQG will be more unique as an electric vehicle in the ultra luxury SUV niche. So while it will still face competition from gas models like the Bentayga and DBX, beating these automakers to the punch for an ultra luxury EV gives the G-Class an edge, and Mercedes can still retain the gas model in its lineup and sell both simultaneously to give buyers a choice between an electric version and a gas version. The G-Class has already been a wildly successful car for Daimler, especially given its big price tag and the sales volume. And I have to mention this, Southern California is a big market for this car. California is also, of course, a big market for electric cars in general, and the EQG is essentially the perfect car for celebrities and other wealthy Californians who want an electric status symbol. I don't think new G-Class buyers would be hesitant at all to switch to electric, so there should be a very smooth transition to phase the gas model out. In conclusion, it's great to see Mercedes stick with the classic design on this one, and with the competition lacking electric versions of high-end models, the EQG seems poised to continue winning in this segment. So that's everything you need to know about the upcoming EQG, the first fully electric G-Class. Let me know what you think about the EQG in the comments. Do you think G-Class buyers will be happy to opt for an electric version? I'm looking forward to hearing from you. On this channel, I talk about car news like this, as well as history and culture, so if you like videos like this, check out the other uploads on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss future videos I upload every week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.